Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Yes. Excellent. We're on.
All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for coming to our panel. So today we are going to discuss quantum and quantum technology and computing and the role of quantum in fostering an environment for innovation. My name is Ahmed Al-Qatatsheh. I'm leading sales, business development, and research collaboration for IBM Quantum in IBM. And today we are bringing cream to our panel, mixing academia with business in order to discuss how we can build an ecosystem and what we need in order to build the capability here in Qatar based on the leading entities, representatives that we are inviting. So in 30 seconds, we have Dr. Saif. Dr. Saif, would you introduce yourself to the audience?
Good afternoon. So I'm Saif Al-Kuwari, I'm faculty at HBQ, but more relevant to this, I'm leading Qatar Center for Quantum Computing, where we do all kinds of research. So we do research in quantum, but not just quantum computing, we also do quantum communication and sensing, and many other interesting things.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. We have Steve.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Steve Suarez. I'm the CEO of Horizonx. I used to be the former head of innovation at HSBC, where we actually kicked off a lot in quantum computing. I sit on the board of a company called Al-Kuwari Computing, and I teach quantum strategy at MIT.
Thank you, Steve. And we have Hamad.
Al-Rewaily, Information System Manager, working for Kigem. I used to work for Qatar Energy. And I've been in oil and gas for the last 20 years, specialized in technology related to upstream industry.
Thank you, guys. Speaking about quantum technology and computing, do you see that it's going to take us years to wait to see quantum computing real thing? Is there any real use cases for quantum? Is it high or real?
Yeah, so there has always been this 10 years rule. So whenever you ask somebody, when do you expect to see a quantum computer, it's always 10 years, it doesn't matter when you ask it. But I think it will be 2 years. But hopefully we'll see more interesting use cases even soon. So what we need to realize is that we do not need a huge quantum computer with millions and millions of qubits to realize an actual application. But even if we do that, we see, I wouldn't say that it is exponential speed up in the number of qubits or the source of quantum computing, but we see a lot of interesting advancements happening in very rapid pace. And IBM has basically launched system 2, before that was system 1. Today, even today, earlier today, we saw announcements from Google releasing their new quantum chip, which is, which seems to be the revolution. So I think it's going to happen sooner, and we just need to watch this domain very closely and be prepared to embrace it once it happens.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. Steve, do you see any use cases in quantum?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at a lot of different use cases. If you think about optimization, so quantum actually does really well when you're looking to optimize something, you're looking to simulate something, machine learning, and security. So in financial services, I don't know if there's anybody in the room in financial services, but you probably agree with me, there's a lot of opportunity to optimize. You can look at things like collateral optimization, pricing optimization. There's also things around fraud detection and fraud anomaly. One of the companies that I work for, in just one country, we had about $1 billion in fraud. So imagine using this technology to have a 1, 2, 3% improvement in that. That would cover a big budget to really push forward quantum computing. So I think this is why financial services is really interested in quantum, because it actually does a lot in the optimization, and it actually can have a big impact for us.
Thank you, Steve. And in your industry, Hamad, do you see any quantum future or application in oil and gas?
Yes, eventually it's all about business, like improving, like cooperation, improving people lives as well. So it will touch different, different aspects from oil, from energy, education, health, and all these sectors. But in our case, for example, in QChem, we started with IBM now to formalize our quantum strategy, and we call it quantum transformation. So soon we will start to collaborate, and hopefully with Dr. Saif as well, and within Doha. So yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much. So speaking about the collaboration that you have started with Hamad Khalifa University with Dr. Saif, how do you see, Dr. Saif, the future for building a quantum ecosystem in Qatar or in the region? So what do we need to do in order to ensure that we have a well-established quantum ecosystem?
Yeah, so what we need to do is already happening, and this is we're very fortunate that from day one we got the support of the government, and the government supports an initiative. Usually viewers become very interested to learn more, and that happens, it makes our journey much easier. So in our case, usually in other countries, quantum starts from a university just as a interesting research partner. Then after a few years, when it gets mature, then it gets adopted by the government, by the industry, and so on. But here in Qatar, a few years ago, it's actually got the back of the government, and we started from there, and then we adopted it as a university, and we started working with quantum computing. So this alone gave us a lot of opportunities to explore potential applications of quantum computing within the government, within the industry, and hopefully in the coming few years we will see very real use cases actually being materialized. And that will, of course, be in the collaboration between stakeholders, industry, and academia. So hopefully, in the coming few years, we'll see a very strong, healthy ecosystem where all these pillars work together.
Fantastic. What was it like in Europe or in the UK to build an ecosystem there?
Well, I think, so I live in the UK, and the UK actually has a very structured approach. They've actually done like a country strategy on how the country is going to respond to the opportunities, but also the threats of quantum. And they put out the UK strategy. And they built a center near Oxford University. It's called NQCC, which is the National Quantum Computing Center. And they're bringing in different companies. One of the companies like I mentioned, where computing, we're actually building a machine there, and we're allowing people to come in and bring their use cases, and we're building a test bed so that different companies can work together to really increase the industry. Quantum is just, it's a beginning industry, and part of it is people have to work together. Even competing companies are working together. And so I think it's really making sure that you can work together across and find opportunities to really push this forward. There's not just one company that's actually going to make this happen for the whole industry. So that's why having the different companies work together is important.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. How you are adapting quantum technology or computing in your organization, and how does this contribute to building an ecosystem in Qatar?
Yes, I think I'll talk about something we have in QChem. Quantum transformation, I look at like similar for digital transformation. So in digital transformation, we have a holistic program. Actually touches 4 aspects: technology, process, people, and culture as well. So if you have these actually frameworks, but don't focus on the technology. Eventually, this will be applicable for all kind of, when it comes to transformation. So, yeah, it's about framework, about adaptation, about culture, and management of change. It's not about technology. So this is the way that, we need to be ready for that infrastructure, training, all of these things.
Amazing. So, in your view, you need to invest more into non-technology aspect by building the capabilities in order to adapt these technologies and make the process as smooth as possible.
Exactly. This is what was our plan, and we have a very good experience when it comes to digital transformation. Because whether we want or not, digital will end. Quantum will actually take over. So different way of computation, different way of different perspective, different technology, different infrastructure, different process, different everything will be different. So that's why we need to start from scratch.
Amazing. So, Dr. Saif, speaking about quantum adoption, how we can ensure that we are building the right capabilities within our community? I know you do have many initiatives, and you are leading a research center in Hamad bin Khalifa. How we can approach this?
It all starts from education. So, if we developed the strongest ecosystem and you created, businesses and so on, but if you don't have the task force to operate, that business, it will bound to fail. So, education is a key to the next quantum revolution, and it must start very soon, because in a few years, we'll experience this ChatGPT moment, but in quantum. And at that time, if we are not ready, we will be basically left behind. And we already started this a few years ago. So I've been teaching quantum computing for the past 4 years. So I started with, I had a very humble start with 4 students in my class. And then I didn't say, you have to be very brave to attend the class of quantum computing. The name sounds very intimidating and scary, but then it's really not rocket science. So if you just push yourself a little bit, it's easier than AI. You actually understand it much better than AI. And with the years, the class started attracting more students, and students started telling their friends. And now I just recently completed, just last year, I completed a course in quantum machine learning. It was like an extension to my original quantum computing course, and that course was being taught for the first time. And usually for the first time, you'd be lucky to get 10 students, and we're talking graduate courses. I got 30, and this is I haven't ever seen this before. People are experimenting with AI and quantum for the first time in a class, in a graduate class. So it took a lot of courage, I would say, but also a lot of curiosity.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. My question to Saif, how we can accelerate one, whether we are individuals, entities, or even on a country level?
And I go back to education. I think that's going to be the key part of it. A lot of people talk quantum, but there's a lot of myths, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just a faster computer, and there's a lot more to quantum. And I see quantum like a marathon, right? We don't show up the day of a marathon and just start running. Part of it is you need to do the training, you need to do the work, you need to do the planning, and that takes a while before the quantum computer is ready for you to start using it. So part of I think the training part is key. Actually, I'd like to take a poll in this room. So this is me getting you guys involved. I'd like you to raise your hands if you are a quantum expert in this room. All right, we got 1.5. We got 1.5 here. How about if you are a quantum, say mid-level quantum person?
Practitioner.
Okay, so we got a quantum practitioner. How about a quantum beginner? Do we have quantum beginners here? Okay, just a couple more hands. The rest of you didn't raise your hand. So that means to me about 90% of this room is a great opportunity to learn about quantum. And I think that's what we're going to see in the environment. That's kind of what I see around when I travel, is that the majority of the people really don't have the deep knowledge. And part of it is, first you start with the education. Once you have the education, then you can help people develop strategies. And once you develop a strategy, then you can go and execute POCs. Unfortunately, companies come in and they go straight for the POCs, deal with somebody in middle management, get frustrated because they're not making a lot of progress. And so starting with the strategy and having a holistic approach is going to be important, and that all starts with education.
Thank you, Steve. So Hamad, I was about to ask you, what about the actions that you have taken in your organization to adopt the quantum technology? But then it raised in my mind that we need to talk about challenges that you are facing. Because this is a classic example, 90% of the audience, I'm sure that they are willing to learn in quantum, but for some reasons they are not.
Yes, I will answer this, but just one thing, which is for Dr. Saif. You started with four students, but when I will start with one in yours. So, good luck, Dr. Again, I'll go back to our experience in digital transformation. Okay, when we start transformation in the QCAM, hardly like exactly you're looking for someone, he's doing his job for the last 20 years, he's doing the same job. Suddenly you're telling him, take this tablet and do this task, automation or machine learning AI. Immediately he will resist. What we did, it's all about culture and mindset. Whether you will adapt or manage to change. Either you leave it to the company or you create a program or a framework. Everyone will follow like on that program, our sessions, proof concept. We create something called digital office. So this digital office actually fills the gap between the technology and the business. So where we have the digital space, everyone can meet the pain point of the business. So again, it's a culture, it's a framework, can be adapted. The change will come. Upgrade your skill set, as Steve and Dr. said, like education, awareness is very important. See the benefit of. But from corporate is little different. Always they look for revenue and how much it costs, return on investment. So little harder. So this is the way that we are looking to this one.
Yeah, excellent. Actually, I was, other than technological and cultural challenges, what other challenges based on your experience you have faced?
Yeah, the main challenge is culture.
Culture.
If people not willing to adapt the technology and utilize it, nothing will move. And this is happening. We remember like when we moved from keyboards to touch screens and all, and if we are running technology, immediately there is a resistance. So this is the main challenge, culture.
Excellent. So based on our discussion, there is a potential. There are many use cases, and we have started to build an ecosystem, and we are in the right way to do our quantum capability building. So when we are going to hack the RSA code, if we have it all, so this is a question that many people are asking me every day. So can you share with us when and whether this is ethical, not ethical, and where should we focus on quantum computing and use cases per se?
So this is a major issue. This is like the dark side of quantum computing. But of course, this is what started quantum computing. When Shaw came up with his algorithm in the 90s, that was the first use case that made the community realize that quantum computing can actually have a practical impact. And then this is history. After that, everybody became interested in quantum computing, even though that was not a good use case. So the quantum method is real, it's happening, definitely happening. When we don't know, when we have big enough quantum computer, and that big enough quantum computer is not the 1 million milestone that the Google and IBM did when it's talking about. I think we need more than 1 million qubits to make RSA. Unless we progress with error predictions, which is not impossible. And the point is that we need to start thinking about how to move from existing cryptography. The existing cryptography has been on for the past 40 years. So with or without quantum computing, we must adopt a new generation. And the new generation has already been out. It has been released last August. Now, what we need to do is maybe we should stop thinking about when quantum computers will be built and start thinking how to migrate to the new cryptography. Because migrating to new cryptography is not a short journey. Most organizations would probably need anything from 5 to 10 years to migrate to new quantum algorithm, with or without quantum computers. Along the way, we may see advances with the quantum computers, or may not, but in 10 years, and this has also been announced by NEST. NEST is considering the existing quantum cryptographic algorithm obsolete by the year 2030, with or without quantum computers. So by the year 2030, if you're still using RSA, analytic all these traditional cryptography algorithm, you're already under threat, with or without quantum computers.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. So, Steve, should we focus on post-quantum cryptography or do some use cases or hack the RSA?
I'm going to follow up with Dr. Saif said. I won't give you a date. But I think being able to, in the words crypto agility, being able to move the different types of algorithms and being agile. Right now, it's very hard for us to actually look at our inventory
Kelvin
and then kind of go in and remediate and change it. And so we have to be a little bit more agile as we have these new algorithms that are coming in. There are 2 points I wanted to make. One, there's a very good paper out there talking about there's about a 3% chance that it will happen in the next 5 years. And people think, okay, Steve, yeah, 3%, that's not a big deal. But if you guys remember, I live in Wimbledon. I live in Wimbledon in London. And where I live, they actually bought insurance for pandemic insurance back in 2019. And does anybody remember what the percentage was that there would be a worldwide pandemic that would shut everything down in 2019? Anybody care? Just guess. What number do you think it was back then? 5%? 2%? It's actually 1.5%. There was a 1.5% chance that there was going to be a world pandemic. They actually bought insurance, and Wimbledon did a very smart move because they were able to cover their costs and stuff like that. This is a 3% chance that it will happen in 5 years. Imagine if your encryption, and I don't want to scare you, but I'm saying that
they're already scared.
But I want you to focus on now's the time to understand terminology like PQC, post-quantum cryptography, understand QKD, that's a little bit farther out there. And there's going to be a lot more talks. In the US, for example, there's an executive order that was put out by the White House saying that anybody selling to the White House or to the US government was going to have to be PQC compliant by a certain date, or any third parties to them. And so you're already seeing companies like Apple, Zoom, others are already rolling that out. So if you're into cybersecurity, you sit on boards, these are topics that I would definitely suggest you start investing in.
Yeah, thank you, Saif. So how based on the discussion or the point of view that Dr. Saif and Saif they have provided, there are too many priorities. So so they ask us to invest heavily in education and learn these technical jargons, QKD, and do a lot and get prepared. So based on your practical experience, what would you advise us? How we can strike a balance between what is ethical, what is important, and what we need to do?
Yeah, before that, just I will highlight very quick about, that I think, like before 2 years, we have, everyone was surprised about that ChatGPT. Within suddenly, with nowhere, we have AI now, it's available commercialized. My point of view, this will help with quantum computing. This is like something from nowhere that will maybe next year after, or so. This is my point of view. Why? Because we have AI now is dominant, research and development now become very fast. Breakthroughs, it may come also quicker as well. Collaboration, it's faster. So I believe this will come sooner or later. For that point, prioritization. Again, I'll go back to your strategy or your quantum transformation. it's all about your sector. For example, if you are in oil and gas, or if you are in education or health, or go back to the business, go back to the pain point and challenge that you have. From there, you will drive your priority. This is exactly what we are doing, and this will make sure that your return on investment and your, will go back to your, based on your corporate objective or your, for example, for an education or health or any sector. I'll talk about our sector. Any dollar will be spent must have return on investment and retail. That's why any application will be created out of this technology must have pain point or challenge that it will resolve. This makes you go for example, brainstorming, ideation workshops, all of these things. It's good to prioritize and have your, I call it based on visibility and business value. So this is the way that you look at it.
Thank you very much.
Then you can create, as we mentioned, quantum.
Quantum management office.
So you can
coined by us. For us.
This is
Sorry, how about Chief Quantum?
by the way,
Chief Quantum.
Only half an hour before we created upstairs. So
Yes.
we are not.
We need to register.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Saif, and Hamad for this enriched discussion. And I will leave 5 minutes for the audience to ask questions before we close.
Any
organizer can
last questions? We'll let you do the math.
The organizer. Can anyone from IBM?
I think it's going to be you.
Thank you.
Hi, Saif. Good evening. Krishna here. Recently, Bitcoin crossed 100K. What is your views on whether a sufficiently large quantum supercomputer can crack the Bitcoin blockchain in the near future?
So this question is to the panel. Okay, Dr. Saif and Hamad.
Go ahead. No, you want to? I think I'm not so much worried about the blockchain, but the wallets that protect the blockchain. That is something that you need to look, because that's based on RSA type technology. But I can tell you all these vendors are looking to roll out algorithms that will protect against quantum, both on the PQC side and, sorry, I'm throwing out these acronyms, the post-quantum cryptography side, and also quantum key distribution. So quantum is the threat, but it's also the answer as well. I don't want to say anything about Bitcoin because I don't want it to affect the price of Bitcoin, so I'll just leave it there.
Thank you.
Another one over here.
Hello. As Mr. Hamad mentioned, there is a big serious talk about that with the improvement of AI systems and the hardware and all of these things. And let's say, improvement in them, they can solve all the issues or some of the issues that the quantum computing was supposed to do, like forecasting, medicine, and etc. So yes, it is that the current AI systems are consuming a lot of energy and water and all of these resources, which are sometimes like more that countries can afford. But it's still less than what the quantum computing will need. So do you think that some are saying that why to invest in something that will need a lot of years to come, while we can use the current AI systems to solve those questions now? So anyway, you can.
Yeah, can I comment on this?
Because this is a comment in one of my LinkedIn posts, so I think you made this post. Yeah, well, building a quantum computer is not is not based on a single platform. So the platform that you're talking about is superconducting. This is where we need a lot of cooling, a lot of energy, but there are multiple platforms that do not need this kind of cooling. So quantum computing is actually might be a solution for this energy crisis that we're living in because of AI. So we should not be very worried about the energy consumption problem. In terms of applications, we don't know because we don't have a big enough quantum computer yet. But once we do, I think that's a natural evolution of AI. AI is as good as the amount of computation that you give it. And at some point, it will hit a physical limit with the classical computation. So in order to get even better AI, you need to move it to a completely different infrastructure, which could be quantum computing.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. Just I want to comment.
Just answering your question. Maybe the people not familiar with the Moore's law, okay? So now we are almost, or I think we reached silicon limits when it comes to the classical computation. Quantum is different type of computing. This is what we're talking about the nature, our universe, like whatever we have. This is the way that actually, for example, the plants, the way that the life itself computing. So this is this kind of computing that we are talking. And this will open up different, as Dr. Saif said, different different era of technology. For example, when it comes to technology, we will reach to the quantum level. So the efficiency will be very high. So it is recommended to go for quantum computing and then to unlock all of these technologies. I hope it's clear.
Thank you, Hamad and Dr. Saif. I just wanted to comment. As Dr. Saif said, that there are different technologies for quantum. We in IBM are using superconducting, and in superconducting, the consumption of system 2, when upgraded, this is a research published by RAND, by a researcher of RAND, is about 15 kilowatt per system 2, which is equivalent to the consumption of one house. And if you share with me your email, I'll send you the research. The second one is the use case of the quantum. So as Hamad said and Dr. Saif said, some use cases we need to invest in quantum to have our results with more prediction and less training time. Thank you. Last question.
Thank you for the opportunity. So I have a little a breakdown question. Sorry for that I was waiting for some time to ask this. So first question is, since there are no use cases, with the time series issues, whatever, which mostly not solved in us so far, around 50 years, has there been any algorithm crack for the stock market? Was there anything quantum use case put on this? And second one is for the climatic forecasting. Is there anything which has been like Dubai has changed its geography, like going green. So with our geographical conditions and climatic metrics which we can feed it, really can we see down the line what will be the geographical domain?
So this is a question for the panel.
Panel anybody can answer.
Okay. Would you like?
Yeah, I won't talk about the stock market, but I'll talk about maybe the potential of quantum computing for the environment. I think one statistic that stood out when I started educating myself and learning about it is that we use about 1.2 to 1.5 of the world's energy to create ammonia. And I don't know if anybody knows why we create so much ammonia. It's to actually create fertilizer, which creates food. And so that's a lot of energy that we spend today to create that. The reason we do that is because we don't understand how nature does it through a quantum mechanical way. The only way to do it, a classical computer will never be able to simulate the world around us because the world around us is quantum mechanical. Thus, you need a quantum computer to do that. So, if you really want to impact things like climate change and understand how simulation happens in the world, we need quantum computers to help us with things like that. And the reality is that we don't know what we don't know can happen, and but right now we have a sense of some of these things. So from a climate perspective, I think that's one of the things. I got 3 kids. I got 3 boys. I want to leave my boys Earth behind us that is better, or in the environment, clean air and water. And that's what excites me about this technology, is that we can use it as a force for good.
Thank you, Steve. I need to close, and please share with me our thanks to Dr. Saif for coming. Steve and Hamad, thank you very much for your attendance and for this enriched discussion and conversation. Thank you. See you next week.